a properly designed system with strong policies and procedures that you are following closely, that are essentially best practices, and it can be audited, your auditors will embrace this. There is no reason why they will not accept that unless, of course, your inventory, your accuracy trend is all over the board and it's unbelievable. So it has been accepted. We have case studies to show you that, and we'd like to talk with you further about that if you're interested. But you might ask, well, what's the difference? You know, count it all once a year or count some each day? The critical difference between physical inventory and cycle count is that the cycle count policy and procedure must include a regular analysis of the root causes of any variances. And that presupposes that you would then report that to management, discuss what's causing it, find out what process or procedure is broken downstream, or upstream rather, and fix the process. So as you're doing this, the inventory accuracy trend over time should be going up from 80 to 90 to 95 to 98 to 99 and so forth. What we're talking about is one of the cornerstones of continuous improvement. So it forces you to look at your processes, because there are so many processes that affect inventory quantity on hand and inventory accuracy, that it helps you improve in all of your operations and find those errors, whether they're in bills of material or purchasing unit of measures or wherever they're hiding, and get them corrected. Okay, no more slides with a lot of text. Let's move on. The cycle count system in the Macola ES system, unfortunately not progression, has a cycle count process whereby you can identify for your A, B, C, and X classification items how frequently you want to count them. So for example, you may want to count your A items 4 times a year, and dividing that by, well, 360 just to be easy, that would mean that every 90 days I need to count that item. So the system will automatically present that item for recount every 90 days. Now, your items, obviously all of your A items can't be counted in one day, because you can probably only count, I don't know, 20 or so in any given day, and you need to be counting both A's, B's, and C's in any one count. Those need to be spread over a quarter or over a 90-day period, so that you would have a sampling of A's and a group of B's and a group of C's to count on every single day. So that's how that would, the system will help you define when to cycle count any given item. This is the cycle count selection screen, and as you notice, there's a lot of ways that you can create a cycle count batch. I mean, it can be pretty specific. Just count this one item, or count the items in this range of bins, or range of product categories, or count all of the items related to one specific vendor. But most of the time, the combination of ABC classification and cycle count code is the way that we can break up the inventory to get that cycle count frequency that I was just describing. And this little checkbox will allow the system to swing into motion and make that calculation for you. A lot of folks don't like to show the computed quantity on hand. That's just a personal choice. Sometimes it's helpful when there's 10,000 on hand and you only counted 100. You should be looking for more. Other times people aren't trustworthy enough and look at the 10,000 and write 10,000 in there. You need to make that choice. Inventory accuracy measurement is the report card for how well your cycle count or even your physical count process is going on. This is the input screen for the built-in report within the system to give you inventory accuracy. So you can look at a specific item, range of items, or based on a specific starting posting date, so you don't have to go all the way back in time. This is a good start for reporting accuracy. However, we have prepared a number of other reports, especially as it relates to using cycle counting, such as reporting on number of hits versus misses and acceptable variances, because often there's a tolerance. If you're counting nuts and bolts, you're never going to get it 100% accurate, nor do you want to take the time to get it 100% accurate. So you need to have a tolerance, a 2 or 3 or 4% tolerance within which the quantity on hand compared to what you counted is still a hit instead of a miss. So those are the kind of reports that we can provide for you that we've used for other clients. Let's move on to the lot traceability and serialization and so forth, and how Macola supports traceability in general. First of all, when it comes to lot versus serialization, lot control is specific identity of a batch or quantity of an item that all share the same characteristics. So it's a die lot or a batch of food product that was produced in one kettle. It's a day's production run of something that all shares the same test criteria, same characteristics. And one of the features within the system that really helps here is the hold status. In other words, this can be used for both lots or serial numbers, so that you can place an item on hold, or I'm sorry, a specific instance, in other words, a lot or a serial number of an item on hold for whatever purpose, so that you can't either ship it to a customer or use it as a component in a production order, or maybe even move it out of quarantine until such time that the manual hold is released. So picture eliminating the receiving inspection process and immediately assigning lot numbers when items are received, and then automatically putting them on hold until such time that your quality department releases them. That might be a better way than going with the receiving inspection and disposition process. Or if something fails a test once it's been completed in production, perhaps it would go on hold in a particular location. Serialization is, as I mentioned, like lot control, except that it's a single item. That's the only difference. Most widely used when you have, say, warranty tracking, or which have specific test results per unit. So if we're testing electrical components, each unit may have a different value, and so obviously you would serialize those rather than lot control those items, so we can capture those individual test results. The serial lot trace function is very powerful.